it's Alan Scher. You guys know me. I'm with the Spa Association. I'm with my very good friend Lynn Falk from Retailworks, and it's cold in Milwaukee, right, Lynn? Hi.
Very cold. Thank you for bringing that up.
All right, well, I was going to tell her to come down to Palm Springs, but it's 50 and raining sideways here. So even though it's the desert, apparently people forget it gets cold and it rains here in December and January. Anyways, right? But what are you going to do? Anyways, I'm glad we could be together today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I've got a couple quick questions because retail, you know, is so critical in the spa and salon channel. I mean, they can make more money in the front of the house from retail than they can from doing spa treatments, right? There's more gross margin involved. So you and I had this little pre-conversation that talked about the guest experience, and I want you to address that a little bit for us because I know how critical it is from coming in to leaving.
Right. There are many, many variables that can be manipulated through that experience. So we're looking at from the moment someone walks in that front door, what does the place smell like? What does it obviously look like? Where are the focal points? What music is playing? Is it too quiet? Is it too loud? Is it the appropriate genre of music? And then truly the critical mass of the product lines that are being displayed is really important. If you don't have a certain quantity of products on shelves, people actually think either you're not really serious about it, you're not supporting them. So by having the right quantity and then well displayed and then well signed so that people understand what it is you're selling. And then all the way through to, as I say, that the rest of the experience is also going in and getting a treatment of some sort. So what is that experience like? And again, what's the atmosphere? We're very holistic on how we look at all the 5 senses as someone really manages that experience from beginning to end.
You just took the words out of my mouth because this 5 senses thing is really critical, right? Because we're in this kinesthetic business. People like to touch and they like to feel and they like to smell. So what I'm hearing you say is all these things need to work together. Is that right?
Correct. And they need to support the brand and they are telling a message. You know, we have project goals with every client. It's what is the goal you're trying to achieve and how can we achieve that by creating a 3-dimensional environment that supports the brand, tells your message, sells more product, sells more services. And a lot of that is really through interior design.
Right. So I'm going to say most of the spa directors that we deal with all the time, you know, nobody went to school for retail management. They didn't go to school for visual merchandising. So I grew up in retail and we talk about it, and you've grown up in retail. So we kind of talk about this stuff as a matter of course, but it's not, it doesn't pop through your brain if you work in a spa and you never get that. So can you give me 2 or 3 top things that have worked at Retailworks that you would tell our membership that they could use?
Sure. And when it comes to visual merchandising and display, I do say that the population can be split into 3 groups. And one group, we all know that group, they kind of came out of the womb just being able to put a display together and it looks great. They understand composition and balance and the elements and principles of design. And they're not even thinking about it. They just do it and it looks great. Then there's another third that can be taught those elements and principles of design. So we try to create shapes or triangles and pyramids, and we like to stack again using according to size and shape and label and color, and their heavier products are on the bottom and the lighter products are at the top. It's some real basic elements and principles of design that everyone has probably learned about in high school Art 101, but they have to just start thinking that way, and then they can apply those principles and they'll create a great display. And then there's the other third, the final third of the population that should never touch a display because they can't learn.
No, I get it. So quick aside, one of my twin grandsons, he never has had a lesson and he draws amazing, right? He would fit in that first category where he sort of just gets it. Me, I don't draw stick men, so I can tell you he didn't get his art ability coming from me because I don't understand that at all. So Lynn, will you, and those are great points by the way, because otherwise it looks like some blank shelves and some boxes, right? Like throw it on
There's no thought behind it. And truly, if you want to be a leader in and have some really high product sales, you have to pay attention to that front of house. You have to think about, again, whether it's private labeling and what do those labels look like, the size of the packaging too. What is the packaging on those shelves? And then what are you putting the product in? So when someone buys something, obviously a lot of really nice spas and salons out there are using really good bags with some nice handles, and they use tissue paper. All that makes a difference. It adds value to the product. And even the sound of tissue paper, people like that. And that's another sensory item. So we're down to those kinds of details and how that bag feels in the hand.
Lastly, what I wanted to cover with you is lighting, because in my world, it's so critical, right? As I've had to pull my green screen up and shut my blinds, and I've got my corner light, and I got the big round makeup light, and you got to do a lot of, we're not built to do this, but I'm always aware of the places I go in that are well lit, seem to be busier, they seem more alive. What's that all about?
It's huge. Lighting will make or break a good design, and it is the most critical and it's the most complicated, but the most important. So you're right. When someone walks into an environment, well, there are a lot of things that will hit a person right away. And lighting is the most important, but also ceiling height, the proportion of the space itself, those visual focal points, how to get from point A to point B. So if all those things are in good working order, you're creating a good first experience and a good first impression and ambiance. But back to lighting, you can have great color selection, a good color palette. You can have beautiful fixtures, a gorgeous reception check-in counter. But if it's not well lit, again, you're going to lose you lose the excitement of that brand that you have worked so hard to build. So when we look at lighting, we always look at the fact that you shouldn't have monotone lighting. We need alter the different types of light. We always have the overall ambient light source, but then you want to be able to punch up, whether it's your logo, some artwork, definitely your product displays. They should be 3 times the brightness of your overall ambient light.
And I noticed for those of us who are wearing specs these days, that it's even more critical because I can't read the point of sale cards or anything else if it is not well lit in that area. I see you and I could go on for hours, so we might have to do a whole series of these about what it is that looks right when you go into a spa and everything else. But Lynn, your many years of experience is appreciated by me, and I know by our members, and we're going to come up with another subject before the day is out, and we're going to do that one as well.
I'd be happy to do it again. Thank you, Alan.
I love it. Okay, guys, that's Lynn Falk. She's with Retailworks in Milwaukee. You'll see her information in just a second here, but thanks for being with us. A Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy New Year to everybody.